Hey friends, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. And if you are new here, thank you for stopping by. So I'm going to do like part 3, I guess, of me like catching up on flips in my Hobonichi cousin. I've previously posted August and September. I'll try to link them below and some up in the cards maybe. So to get caught up, I'm going to flip through October and then we'll be caught up on the Hobonichi cousin Avec flip. Yay. Anyway, I'm not going to go into like super details. But I will say, if you are not really familiar with Hobonichi, the Hobonichi cousin, there's technically 3 versions. There's the Hon, which is like the hardcover that's usually decorative. There's the standard, which is an entire year in one book. And then there's the Avec, which is what this is. And the Avec is a 2-book system. So it's like January through June in book 1, and then July through December in book 2. And so I'm currently in book 2. There you have it. And I have this in a Liberty Fabrics cover, all that good stuff. So I'm going to flip through just really quickly. If you have specific questions, let me know. This is my own artwork that I've created. This is based off of like a gouache painting I did. I'm really proud of this piece. It's probably one of my favorites that I've ever created. And then this one as well is a gouache painting. This is my my swatch page, basically. So for the tombos, I list out all the available tombow numbers. And then as I get that tombow, I just highlight it. It's a great log for me to have. And then just a variety of other markers and whatnot. I do not use my monthlies. Like I started strong in July with the picture a day. It just didn't stick. It's not sustainable for me. I don't always have a lot of free time, so it's just not something that I was able to do. And then if we go to my daily pages, my weekly pages, sorry, scratch that. This is where I put my like Receiptify. I think I saved my Receiptify from October on my phone, but I haven't printed it. And then I use this like a lot of times like for junk journaling or to like paste in ephemera or, put in like my coffee order stickers and stuff like that. That was a large iced caramel latte day. I had gotten an order from Shady Pines Paper Co. And this was the order, like my actual order. So I just cut it out and taped it in. I had gotten these pet tapes from Amazon and I pasted those in. I started on this one. She's really cute, by the way. I like her hair. But I started I was going to do a spread and then I didn't finish it. So fun times. But I did paste in like the card that I got from Shady Pines Paper Co. I had bought an A6 Techo, like the A6 size Hon. It was a 2025. Hold on, I think I have it. Yeah, I bought the sushi one off of Amazon. It's a 2025, but I was really excited about it. It was discounted a lot, so I don't know what I'm going to use it for yet. But I love buying like old out of date planners and books and finding ways to repurpose them. So I went ahead and pasted that in. I finished a sticker sheet. That's been a thing I've been doing, is whenever I finish a sticker sheet, I stick it in here. And then I got some new pants. And then this was another sticker. So A6 Hon Sushi. Here's some more. I participated in a summit at the University of Alabama for some students where I talked about domestic violence and how it impacts children. And, looking like how to find signs of trauma and things like that. So that was my parking pass. Sticker I got from a local restaurant. More coffee. Finished another sticker sheet. More coffee. It was my uncle's birthday. And then I got these Rytech brush pens. These are really nice. They don't have color names, but I really liked the colorway of them. And then going into doing something weird here. Sounds like it's ripping, but I don't think it is. Sorry. I had gotten a new satin bonnet to sleep in, and I liked this card, so I taped it in, and I don't know where that came from, but I liked it enough to stick it in here. And then I remember a student had given me these stickers to make me fancy, and so I wanted to keep them. So that's how I use my weekly pages. I don't really do anything fancy here. Again, I'm going to revert back to, this is my fun, like, memory keeper and journal. And so if I do not fill in a page, I move on. I don't dwell in it. Blank pages don't bother me. They also tell a story, right? So I printed this off of, I don't know, I found it online. She's cute with her sunflowers and her coffee. And then that was my cover page from September. So I did a small version of that. I was off that day. Again, see, we had 2 days where I didn't really write anything, but I did put some stuff down. So Sophie had a field trip. She got to go to a symphony and she really enjoyed it. And then this is like our rivalry game. I don't even know what the theme was. Malaya said America was the theme. So she got a George Washington costume. I was like, girl. And then this was a Saturday. I don't know what happened that Saturday, but that's a pretty picture of the sky. And I probably watched football, honestly, that day. Here was a Sunday. I got to sleep in that day. Just kind of use a variety of stickers. I use like so many different types of stickers. Sometimes I doodle. Sometimes I do script fonts. Just whatever I feel like doing. Stickers, pictures, all of that. Jesse worked that morning. So usually during football season when he has to work, he'll bring Duncan home, which is nice. That Saturday I gave Storm a bath. I remember that because I gave Maggie a bath the next day. I was like, I'm not giving 2 dogs a bath in a day. Did chores. We had a nice evening walk. Oh, the fall weather. And apparently we were laughing and cutting up about something. Case of the Mondays. Amen. Work was super crazy and busy today. Like, I was so busy all day long and could not get out of there fast enough. Y'all ever have days like that? Yeah. I don't know why the day took a weird turn. I'll get to that. Oh, yeah. Okay. I remember this day. We're not going to get into that. Let's see. Malaya had her MRI of her ankle. Oh, yeah. This was about the time. If you guys follow me or watch my Plan With Me's, I probably talked about this in detail. I was not a happy camper on this day. The nurse of the orthopedic doctor who did Malaya's MRI on her ankle was like, nothing's wrong with it, just do PT. And I'm like explaining to them, like, she is like in pain to the point that she's crying. Like, I need like something. And me and the nurse kind of had a verbal spat. Maybe that's a good word. I was just like, okay, like, if you don't want to do anything, then just tell me that and I'll find someone who will. Anyway, we got in with our doctor, mine and Jesse's doctor. He does sports medicine. So homegirl got the boot. And once they knew, like, it was a high ankle sprain, so it doesn't necessarily always show up in an MRI or an x-ray. But she got the treatment she needed. And fast forward, she is on the mend. This day I clearly didn't feel like writing because I said didn't feel like writing. I also filmed a YouTube video that day, apparently. I got this was the day I got Happy Mail from Shady Pines Paper Co. Yes. And I swatched the washies I had gotten. They're so cute. This was like her tape for the package, and then I doodled. That's a weird looking leaf, isn't it? It's like, what? But fall doodles nonetheless. This was another football game. That's our SRO for the game. His daughter and his middle daughter and my youngest daughter are really good friends. And he's great. The kids love him. So we had a football game. We were back to home games, which was great. And I used a marker to color in the whole page. I don't know. I just like the look. I just did like a quick, like, happy Saturday feels like fall outside, college football. We had lunch at Swen, which is a Chinese restaurant, like old school Chinese restaurant. It was so good. We went shopping. Yep. That was when I got that little happy face planner. Lots of good games. So I'll go through them. Bama beat Mizzou. Texas beat Oklahoma. Indiana beat Oregon. Northwestern beat Penn State. They went downhill. Currently watching Georgia versus Auburn. Been a wild game so far. I'm kind of shocked that Auburn is playing so well. College football is wild. And Georgia did end up winning that game. But, and then rest in heaven, Diane Keaton, she passed away. Here was a Sunday chill day. Oh, I dropped donations off that day. Look at me. We went by my parents. My mom had wanted a specific purse, so I went and brought it to her, and she had made chicken adobo. So we went there and ate that. And Sophie and I were playing volleyball in the yard. I slept in. It was wonderful. The 13th, the kids were out of school. I was supposed to work, but I ended up taking that day off. To Happy Indigenous Peoples Day. They call, in our district, they call it fall break. So Sophie had her annual checkup. She grew 4 inches in a year, y'all. Oh my heavens. And she did really good. She's really tall to be 10. She's almost as tall as Malaya and I. I treated Sophie to Dunkin' after her appointment because she did get two shots. I was like, girl, you deserve a treat. We about to go get some Dunkin'. And she was like, okay. I studied. I spent about 30 minutes for my clinical exam. I don't know what that means. Anyway, and then a good friend of mine, I had to pray for her. Here was a Tuesday. This was another day. Malaya had multiple appointments that day. She had 3. And that was, a busy day. This was also when I participated in that panel on domestic violence and interpersonal violence. And talked to some university students and talked to them about kind of like how, violence in the home also can impact children and, trauma responses and things like that. If I'm able to, I really do try in that regard to give back to the professional community. A lot of my speaking things I don't get paid to do. I just do them because I think it's important to, number one, create awareness of things, but also number 2 is to provide support to up and coming professionals as well. Because I've been in practice almost 20 years. And so for me, it's like we've got to pour into this up and coming generation of professionals. So, yep. And then taco casa for lunch and dinner, big back indeed. Back to work this day. Yeah, this was the day. It was kind of crazy. Malaya had her PACT. I'm still waiting on those results, by the way. It's been a month, almost a month. Yeah, there was a strong odor of something, and we had some concerns. So we'll just leave it at that. I'm so stuck right now, and I need to get unstuck. I just feel like I have lost all motivation and discipline, and it's bothering me. I've got to make some changes. I'm just struggling. Do y'all ever feel like that? And I think in these journals, I think you're going to see the good and the hard, right? I don't want to say the good and the bad, but the good and the hard, because there are a lot of times that my days are hard and I have to do stuff anyway, my job can be very stressful. Raising kids is stressful. The world is a dumpster fire. And so, anyway, this was also the day that, okay, I'll just read what I wrote, y'all. And oh my gosh, I was at that school today and the counselor asked me, she was like, you didn't split your pants today, did you? I was like, girl, my pants are loose now. So I was like, funny story from work today. I was meeting with a student. I bent down to pick something up and my pants split. Ugh. Thankfully, that was the day I had on my jean jacket. So I was able to cover up until the end of session. And then I went home because I was like, F this day. But she was like, every time I see you now, I was like, girl, I know. I was like, she's like, I can't believe you told me. And I was like, why not? I think sometimes we just have to laugh, Okay, anyway, I was working on my application to apply to sit for my exam. Up under here is a picture of Sophie and her friend. And then so Malaya was in the boot, and it was funny because whenever our team scores a touchdown, the cheerleaders run to the end zone and cheer, and Malaya couldn't run because she was in a boot. And so I don't know if you can tell, but one of the girls that play softball with Malaya. Her dad is a photographer, so she like takes pictures too at football games. And one of the cheerleaders were taking turns carrying Malaya to the end zone on their back. It was so funny. The whole family came to that game. This is what we had for dinner. Oh, I put also mom always brings the best snacks. Love the watermelon rings. Oh, they were so good is all I'm going to say. This was our last home game of the year. Here's Saturday. Sophie and I bribed Sophie this day. I remember this day. I was going to go run some errands and I really wanted some help. And Sophie was like, I think I'm just going to stay home. I was like, we can get Dunkin'. She was like, I'm in. So we did that. So I did a really big grocery shop. And then we came home, watched football. Was Jesse at work? I think Jesse was at work this day. I made the first chili of the season. Here's the 19th. It was my dad's birthday. And him and my mom were out of town. My parents are travelers. They love going to the beach. My mom is a big believer in saltwater is healing. I do not disagree with her at all. I totally agree. So they had went to the beach. So I didn't get to see my dad for his birthday, but I'm glad that they had a good trip. This was when I used some new hyperfixation, going to keep drawing on sticker paper. So I took permanent markers and drew on sticker paper and then cut it out. And I thought it looked really cool. I mean, I could have easily just drawn it on the paper, but there was no fun in that. So I just had like some strips of like sticker paper that I didn't want to waste. So yeah, did that. And then I did another swatch of the Rytech markers. Busy Monday. Had a full day. Difficult children. Sometimes my caseload is very, very challenging. And then when I got off work, Malaya had a choir thing, so we all went to that. And then I gave her and one of the girls that's on the cheer team with her a ride home, and I was going to take them both to Ace, but the girl who lives right down the road from us, she had oral surgery like the week before, and she was not feeling well, so she ended up not going. And then, yep, okay. Skipped that day. And then this was another thing I did. I did UA School of Social Work Career Fair. So after I worked, I met up with a coworker and we went to the university, and their career fair was more so like letting like up and coming social workers kind of see like what types of jobs are available for social workers. So I had a really good time talking to up and coming social workers. They also made me feel old because I was telling it was two young ladies. I was like, yeah, when I graduated with my bachelor's in 2007, and one of the girls was like, oh, I was 2. And I just wanted to be like, shh. I am aware. Okay. I've hit that stage of life. But anyway, I went to Walmart after that to get candy because Malaya had a thing. It was a busy day. I ran all day long. This was a really busy week for me. And then I used this cute girl sticker. It's in like that autumn PET tape set that I got. But I didn't like how she looked like she was just floating. So I used my markers to make it look like she was like standing on a bunch of leaves. Sometimes I just get hyper fixated on stuff. Malaya had her PT appointment, and then after her appointment, she worked a trunk or treat. Oh, and then I wrote a little prayer. Lord, please let all people have basic human rights. I don't know why that is. Anyway. So I decided to do a lot of gratitude here. Because sometimes when I'm like feeling overwhelmed or feeling tired or feeling like just too much, overstimulated, all the things, sometimes gratitude is grounding to me, and remembering what I have and being grateful for what I have can be helpful to me. This was we went to Selma. This was pink out in Selma. We ended up winning that game. The cheerleaders had to wear pink bobs. They were so not excited about it. But that's cool. We ended up managing to win, which meant we were going to the playoffs. So that was fun. And then I also gave the cheer coaches, I didn't do it for the whole cheer team because that just seemed like a lot. I just did it from like the sophomore mommies. Like, anyone who wanted to donated, and we just gave them some little gifts and stuff. This Saturday, the girls both had sleepovers. So Jesse and I went on a date 2 walk-ons, and we actually were there at the end of the Alabama football game, and it was so fun in there. I dubbed the Saturday recovery day because this was a day that I stayed in my jammies until we went out to eat. But I'm glad that it's been a long time since Jesse and I have had a date night, just the two of us, just because, there's always something going on. And we are so 100% dedicated to the things that our kids do. So, in the summertime or when the weather's nicer, like the way we spend our quality time together is we go for a 30-minute walk together and we chat. So we try to do things like that, just to kind of make sure like we're still spending time and like having conversation and not just going through the motions of life. We both, we just know that that's so important in a marriage. So, it was actually really, really nice to go out on a date with Jesse. We had a good time. And then this was the napkin. And like when when we got our drinks, I was like, ooh, save the napkin. I want to put that in my journal. And then here was the 26. I got some new mild liners I found at the Dollar General. Sorry. They were like $5. And then I just kind of wrote some thoughts about the politics and all of that. I feel like every once in a while I just go in a different way with my writing. So, I was writing about the government being shut down and how I felt about that. I said in a last video, like if you are nosy enough to read my stuff and you don't agree with my politics or what I say, I don't care that you don't agree. We can just move on, okay? Because I will not be arguing with strangers on the internet about stuff like that. That's all I'm saying. Really, I'm not going to be arguing with anyone about that. Malaya was out of school that day because she had a migraine. Use these super cute stickers. Absolutely love them. This was a Hello Tuesday. Jesse and I were talking about ways to serve our community. So we, I'm not going to get too much into like my own, religious beliefs and values. But I do believe in like feeding and caring for others and human rights and stuff like that. And so Jesse and I were talking about, we had talked to a pastor that's local to our community about putting out like a blessings box, and I created a flyer. And so like the blessing box works in a way where like you can like give what you can, take what you need. It's all anonymous, that type of thing. And so that's kind of like, I knew that I could not do anything that required me to like give a lot of my time because I just don't have a lot of that. So I wanted something that could still serve the community, but also like help people maintain their dignity, especially if someone doesn't want people to know that they're, that they're getting food or that they're struggling. So I thought this was a great way to do that. And it kind of worked in like what that church was doing anyway, because they get like bread donations from a grocery store and they set those out like once or twice a week. And a lot of community members will stop and get the free bread. So just kind of adding a box and putting, is it non-perishable food items in there for people who might need food to come get, or if anybody is in the giving mood and wants to give food, they can give that as well. So this one is a lot more chatty because I feel like October is still pretty fresh on my mind. So the 30th, Malaya was with her friend, but we watched Hocus Pocus. Malaya's at that age where, she's living her life, and, it's hard for me. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes it's hard for me, but I also respect that she is her own person, and, she's got her own relationships with her friends and stuff. And anyway, so yes, Malaya had appointments that day. This is when she got to take the boot off. She had her last PT. We were great. We visited my parents, and then we got Malaya's costume. I did the Rumi braid. I'll show it to y'all because it's like right here. I bought some hair off of Amazon and made the Rumi braid. I even got like the little clips to put in it because I dressed up as Rumi kinda. I wore all black for Halloween. And then this was Halloween. So Malaya was if you give a mouse a cookie. I don't know if it translated. It's kind of put together. And then Jesse and Sophie were Ghostface because they're scary. So anyway, that was Yeah, October in here. This is the chatty one. But anywho, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please let me know if you have any questions. I will talk to you all soon. I hope you have a great day. Bye.